Hello. Today we will be considering the truth that God is compassionate. And I'd like to read a couple verses from 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 6 and 7 say, "Humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you." This truth that God is compassionate is amazing. God, the creator of heaven and earth, the one who holds all things together, the incredible, infinite God, is compassionate toward you and toward me. Compassion comes from the Latin word compati, which means to suffer with. God just doesn't have an intellectual knowledge of our situations. He doesn't just know it in his mind, but he feels. He's a God who feels. And this compassion doesn't end only at God's feeling, but there's also action implied in the word compassion. So God is one who sees, who knows, who understands, and also one who acts, and who is calling us into himself, into his perfect peace that he offers. As the Father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. And there are a couple of stories in Scripture that have especially been on my mind recently. One is in Exodus chapter 2, the Egyptians had enslaved the Israelites, and the Israelites were crying out to God. And the text says that God heard their cry. He saw and he knew. And then another text is when Hagar ran from Sarah and Abraham. And the angel of the Lord found her in the desert and comforted her. And she said afterwards that she named him the Lord who sees. And so, know today that God sees. Know today that he knows. He knows you intimately and perfectly. Rest in that truth today, that God is compassionate as the Father is toward his children, but in this case, our perfect Father, compassionate toward you and toward me, knowing, seeing, and drawing us close.